Welcome to my presentation on using song to promote literacy development in early childhood. In this presentation, I will discuss some of the research on this subject, as well as practical suggestions of how to incorporate song into a classroom setting. Throughout the presentation, I will use the terms song and music interchangeably. Know that when I am speaking of music in this context, I am speaking of music in the form of song, where students are involved in learning and singing songs. To begin, I'd like to share a little bit about my musical background. Both of my parents are very musical. They grew up playing instruments, singing in choirs, and so I grew up in a home where I was really surrounded with music. I was often sang to as a child. I remember being sung to every night. I remember learning songs and nursery rhymes. I also remember going to music classes or groups with other children my age at the public library, at our church. And my mom, because she was a trained pianist, she taught me and my siblings to play the piano, and so we learned a lot of music theory from quite a young age. Additionally, I have been part of school choirs my whole school career, beginning in grade 3, which was the soonest that we were allowed to join the choir, and I immediately did. And I stayed in choir throughout middle school and high school, and I was even a part of university singers here at the U of L. And now I volunteer each week and I teach songs and music to children aged 3 to 11. And this is something that I really enjoy. And I've seen how learning songs has helped these children to develop skills in their speaking and seems to help them remember things better. And so that's really why I was interested in investigating this topic, to see what the research says about that. This here is just a fun video that I came across a few years ago that demonstrates my very rudimentary piano and singing experience. In this video, I would have been about 2.5 years old, and my cousin, who's the redhead behind me, would have been about 2. In this short video, you'll hear a lot of repetition, which later in this presentation we will learn is one of the reasons that singing songs really helps with literacy learning. So enjoy this short video of me singing and playing the piano. To begin, I would like to discuss a couple questions. First of all, what are some of the reasons we might want to use song to supplement literacy instruction in our classroom? And why would we want to use music to teach and build foundational literacy skills? There's 3 reasons I would like to discuss now, and really this entire presentation we'll discuss more of these topics in detail. First of all, it makes learning enjoyable. Because it is a unique and special experience, it allows children to enjoy the learning that they are engaging in. It's attention grabbing. It combines the use of multiple senses. Children are using physical, auditory senses, and so it requires a certain level of focus, which allows students to really engage in the material. In our textbook readings from Sometimes Reading is Hard, I've really learned a lot about how important it is to make literacy learning fun and enjoyable and something that children are looking forward to instead of dreading. Second is exposure. It gives students opportunities and experiences using skills that are transferable to literacy, which is something that we are going to talk more about throughout this presentation. Because music and language have very parallel structures, which we'll talk about more in the next slide, learning music helps children to learn more about language and literacy as well. Thirdly, through music, children are able to build confidence and knowledge, particularly about oral language, which provides a strong foundation for further literacy skills such as decoding, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Both music and language are organized in similar hierarchical structures composed of organized sequences and connected sounds. For instance, in music, we have notes and beats, which are the basic building blocks. These combine to form phrases and longer sections, ultimately creating a completed piece. In language, the equivalent of these notes and beats are phonemes, the smallest units of sound like letters or syllables. These phonemes combine to form words, sentences, and larger texts like paragraphs and stories. Both music and language involve critical skills such as listening, sound recognition, and sound reproduction. In music, this might mean identifying and replicating rhythms, pitches, and a steady beat. Similarly, in language, it involves recognizing and producing correct phonemes and speech patterns. Interestingly, the skills we develop through music can transfer significantly to literacy skills. For example, understanding rhymes, pitches, and maintaining a steady beat in music enhances phonological awareness, which is the ability to recognize and manipulate the sound of spoken language. This is a fundamental skill for reading and writing. Our brains also process spoken language and music in similar ways. Researchers call this a shared category learning mechanism, meaning the cognitive functions used for understanding music and language overlap significantly. This shared processing framework helps explain why skills in one area can boost abilities in the other. So to summarize, the hierarchical and organized nature of both music and language, along with the shared cognitive functions, shows how intertwined these two domains are. This connection underscores the value of incorporating music into early language and literacy education. We are now going to discuss how pitch and rhythm skills play a crucial role in supporting oral language development. Firstly, these skills are fundamental in building auditory discrimination. This means they help us distinguish between different sounds. For instance, being able to identify variations in pitch and rhythm enhances our ability to separate speech sounds from background noise. Pitch and rhythm skills are also important in processing speech sounds. By fine-tuning our ability to recognize subtle differences in sound patterns, we become better at understanding and interpreting spoken language. This auditory processing capability is necessary for effective oral language development and phonological awareness. Pitch and rhythm skills are not just about musical ability. They are integral to our ability to discriminate sounds, process speech, and develop strong oral language and phonological awareness. These auditory skills are essential for effective communication and literacy. I love these quotes at the top of the slide that demonstrate the role of oral language, specifically in preparing students to learn to read. The first one, in the top left-hand corner, before children read, they talk. And in the top right-hand corner, reading and writing float on a sea of talk. These quotes highlight the importance of oral language in developing further skills of phonemic awareness, which eventually allows children to decode and read written language. We will now explore how music supports phonological awareness, a critical piece of reading and language development. Chard and Dixon explained that phonological awareness is the understanding of different ways that oral language can be divided into smaller components and manipulated. Phonological awareness encompasses several key skills, including rhyming, syllable segmentation, blending, and phonemic awareness. These skills are fundamental for understanding the sound structure of language. Music, which inherently focuses on auditory processing, helps children learn to recognize patterns, discriminate between different sounds, and identify specific features of speech. For example, learning to recognize the rhythm and melody in songs can enhance a child's ability to segment syllables and blend sounds together. A strong foundation in oral language is essential for becoming a proficient reader. In fact, language skills play a larger role than cognitive ability in literacy acquisition. Phonological awareness is a critical piece of this foundation. Children who develop strong phonological awareness skills through activities like singing and rhyming are better prepared for reading. Exposure to activities involving rhyming is particularly beneficial. Many children's songs incorporate rhyming, providing a fun and engaging way for kids to develop their phonological awareness. By singing along to these songs, children naturally practice rhyming and other phonological awareness skills. For example, the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star features an AABB rhyming scheme as we sing the words, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky." Singing songs like this one and many others helps to support phonological awareness in, like mentioned, a fun and engaging way where students have the time to practice these skills. Continuing to talk about phonological awareness, we are going to look at what recent studies are saying about the impact of music on this critical skill, particularly in preschool and early elementary years. Firstly, a study involving preschool children found that those with better pitch discrimination also had better phonemic awareness. This means that the ability to accurately hear and distinguish between different pitches helps children recognize and manipulate phonemes, the smallest units of sound in language. Additionally, students who could successfully match a beat to a particular sound were more successful in tasks involving phonological awareness, highlighting the importance of auditory matching skills. Another study with preschool children showed that pitch and rhythm skills contributed significantly to the development of phonological awareness. This reinforces the idea that musical training can enhance the ability to hear and process the sounds of language. Finally, research involving early elementary students found that music instruction and rhythmic skills were associated with better phoneme segmentation and reading success. Phoneme segmentation, which involves breaking words down into individual sounds, is a key component of reading. These findings suggest that rhythmic training can improve a child's ability to segment phonemes, leading to greater reading proficiency. In another study, preschool children were divided into 3 groups. One group received phonological awareness training, another group received music training, and the third group received no training. The researchers aimed to compare the effects of phonological awareness and music training on phonological skills. The results were very interesting. Both the phonological awareness and music groups showed significant improvement in their phonological skills compared to the group that received no training. Notably, music training was most effective in enhancing the recognition of larger phonological units, such as distinguishing between words and syllables. Moreover, the study found that the effect of music on phonological skills was comparable to that of a dedicated phonological skills program. This suggests that music training can be just as beneficial for developing phonological awareness as traditional phonological awareness training. These findings strengthen the theory that language and music share processing mechanisms. The overlap in cognitive functions used for processing music and language likely explains why skills developed in one area can enhance abilities in the other. Phonemic awareness is the understanding that spoken words are made up of individual sounds called phonemes. A phoneme is the smallest unit of sound we hear in a word. For example, the word bat consists of 3 phonemes, b, a, t. I like this picture that illustrates how phonological awareness is the umbrella term under which the specific skill of phonemic awareness falls. They are closely related, but phonemic awareness is a more specific skill which falls under the phonological awareness umbrella. One effective way to develop phonemic awareness in children is through singing. When we sing, we naturally lengthen and sustain pitches. This elongation of sounds helps children to better hear and recognize individual phonemes within words. Therefore, incorporating singing into reading activities can be a highly effective strategy for helping students develop phonemic awareness. By singing text, children can focus more on the distinct sounds that make up words, enhancing their ability to identify and manipulate these sounds in spoken language. Lyrics of songs can be a powerful tool for teaching vocabulary. They introduce words through various categories, actions, and space or positional words. For example, songs can teach students about different types of animals, movements like jumping or running, and spatial concepts such as under and over. A specific example of a song that teaches a category of vocabulary is Old MacDonald Had a Farm. In this song, children learn the words for a variety of barnyard animals and have fun attempting to replicate the sounds they make. A specific example of an action song is shown in the image on this slide, if you're happy and you know it. In this song, children learn what the phrase clap your hands means by repeating this action over and over again. A specific example of a song that teaches space and positional words is We're Going on a Bear Hunt, where students learn concepts such as over, under, around, and through. A song that embodies all three of these is the Hokey Pokey. This song teaches vocabulary of a specific category, in this case body parts, which students perform actions and learn directional words such as left, right, in, and out. Students also learn musical vocabulary when teachers describe how music sounds using terms like fast, slow, smooth, and choppy. Songs also expose children to challenging vocabulary across different levels. Tier 1 vocabulary, which are basic words that are commonly used and easily understood. Tier 2 vocabulary, more complex words that are used across various domains. And Tier 3 vocabulary, subject-specific terms that are crucial for understanding particular topics. Teachers can strategically select songs based on the vocabulary they wish to teach, ensuring targeted learning. For example, a song about cooking might include Tier 1 words like mix and bake, Tier 2 words like recipe, and Tier 3 words like culinary. Repetition is key to vocabulary acquisition, and songs naturally incorporate repetition. Research suggests that children need about 12 exposures to a new word for it to become incorporated into their vocabulary. Singing the same song multiple times helps reinforce new vocabulary through repeated exposure. Executive function refers to a set of mental processes that aid in tasks such as planning, organizing, memory, and attention. These skills are essential for various activities, including reading. When we read, we rely on our ability to plan and organize our thoughts, remember information, and maintain focus. Music plays a significant role in activating the brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which is vital for executive function. Engaging with music stimulates this part of the brain, enhancing its capacity to manage these complex cognitive tasks. Moreover, music helps build self-regulation skills, which are crucial for reading. Self-regulation involves controlling one's behavior, emotions, and thoughts in pursuit of long-term goals. By practicing music, children learn skills such as focus and discipline, which are important for effective reading and learning. I was very curious about what the research had to say about using songs to help memorize and enhance memory. I've always felt like for myself, I am able to remember lyrics from songs often significantly better than things I have read, and so I was very curious to see what the research on the subject said. Here are some of the things I was able to find. First of all, phonological memory is the ability to remember and recall sequences of sounds, such as the phonemes within words. This skill is crucial for language development and literacy. Using song-based picture books can significantly enhance phonological memory. When students sing along with these books, they are more likely to remember the sounds and words. The melody of a song provides additional information about the text's features and components. For example, the tune can emphasize certain syllables, rhythms, and patterns in the words, making them more memorable. These melodic cues help children remember the text better. The connections between the melody and the text create access points or cues for memory. When a child hears the melody, it can trigger their recall of the corresponding words and sounds, reinforcing their phonological memory. We will now discuss an extremely interesting study that was conducted in an effort to demonstrate how song and music can be used to cue memory. The purpose of this study was to compare musical mnemonics versus spoken word in training verbal memory in children. A randomized group of 9 to 11-year-old children were selected to take part in this study. This sample was then divided into two groups, a song group and a spoken group. The groups were compared on their ability to recall a list of 15 words over multiple exposures to that list. The song group would be sung the 15 words, and the spoken group would receive the words spoken to them. This study found that the group who had the words sung to them were, on average, able to recall 20% more words than the group who simply had the words spoken to them. This difference persisted even after a 15-minute waiting period between receiving and reporting the list of words. With a 17% difference in this instance, the result is slightly lower than without the 15-minute waiting period, but still significantly larger than the spoken word group. It is also incredibly interesting to note that the song group also had a higher incidence of recalling words in the correct serial order. From this study, we can learn a few important pieces of information that can be used to inform the use of music and song to aid memory in the classroom. Noting the increased serial order recall of the song group, this indicates the role of the musical pitch/rhythm structure in enhancing sequence memory, a mnemonic mechanism. We also learned that using musical mnemonics to train verbal memory is effective in both overall recall and serial word order. Based on information from this study, it can be concluded that in many instances, using song to memorize is superior to training verbal memory with spoken word. I remember throughout middle and high school especially, it was somewhat common for teachers to use a video with a song, such as this one from ASAP Science, to introduce, teach, or review a concept. This video is one I've watched many times throughout high school in different classes, and to this day I can still remember the tune of it and some of the sections of the song. Still to this day, when I'm trying to think of elements on the periodic table, this song comes to mind. This shows the practicality of using song to memorize and the lasting effect it can have on students. It also highlights that using song is not only beneficial in elementary classrooms, but can be used in the upper grade levels as well. Take a moment to watch a part of this video. Notice the catchy rhythm and the repeating patterns throughout the song. Beyond the skills and benefits of using song for literacy instruction that we have covered so far in this presentation, using song presents opportunities for the building of numerous other skills. For example, songs expose students to the use of rhyme, alliteration, and onomatopoeia through repetition, which reinforces learning in a fun and engaging way. Songs can also teach and support various other skills, such as sentence patterns. Songs often repeat sentence structures, helping children recognize and understand different patterns in language. Story and sequencing. Many songs tell stories or follow sequences, aiding children in understanding the order of events and narrative flow. Syllable segmentation. Singing helps children break down words into syllables, which is crucial for phonological awareness. Onset and rhyme. Songs can emphasize the initial consonant sound, onset, and the following part of the syllable, rhyme, aiding in word recognition and phonics skills. Blending. By singing, children practice blending individual sounds into whole words, a key reading skill. Articulation and pronunciation. Repeated singing helps children practice and improve their articulation and pronunciation of words. Grammar. Songs naturally incorporate grammatical structures, providing a context for learning and reinforcing grammar rules. Fluency. The rhythmic and melodic nature of songs supports the development of smooth, expressive reading and speaking. Writing. Exposure to song lyrics can inspire and support writing activities, helping children develop their own written language skills. And prosody. Singing teaches the natural rhythm and intonation of language, which is essential for effective oral communication. To maximize learning, children should actively participate in songs and music, engaging in concrete hands-on experiences. While technology can enhance learning, it's crucial to not let it replace direct adult engagement and physical interaction. Adults play a vital role in children's literacy development. Hands-on experiences and active engagement should be the norm when using songs and song-based picture books. These activities create shared experiences and playful interactions, making literacy enjoyable and accessible. Furthermore, using songs and picture books in this way builds positive associations with literacy, motivating children for later reading engagement. By fostering a love for reading early on, we encourage lifelong learning and literacy success. Using songs in education offers additional benefits beyond literacy development. Firstly, songs promote a flexible attitude by encouraging children to adapt to different rhythms, melodies, and styles. This flexibility can translate to their approach to learning and problem solving. Secondly, participation in songs builds respect for others. Collaborative singing teaches children to listen, cooperate, and appreciate diverse voices and contributions. Additionally, songs provide an opportunity to explore different cultures and perspectives. Through music, children can learn about traditions, languages, and stories from around the world, fostering cultural awareness and empathy. Let's now talk about a few practical suggestions for using songs to support literacy development. When choosing songs, it's important to pick those that invite and encourage participation. Choral reading is a type of reading where students read aloud in unison, and it has been known to encourage participation as there is a feeling of safety in numbers. Singing together can have a very similar effect, and so it naturally creates a safe environment for children to practice their oral language skills and the other skills that we have discussed so far. Another suggestion is to select songs that highlight student interests and relate to their backgrounds. This connection makes the learning experience more meaningful and engaging for children. Emphasize songs that focus on rhythm, rhyme, and alliteration, or any other specific skills you want to teach. These musical elements are great for reinforcing phonological awareness. Choose songs based on the intended learning focus. For example, songs that manipulate phonemes can be very effective for developing phonemic awareness. Hearing and singing nonsense words can strengthen children's oral discrimination skills. A great example of this is the song Apples and Bananas. This song encourages children to use phoneme substitution, which is typically a more advanced phonological awareness skill. By singing different vowel sounds in place of the original vowels, children practice hearing and producing different phonemes. While there are many wonderful songs that have been written that will serve great purposes in your classroom, I would also like to offer the suggestion that if a song doesn't exist for what you are intending to teach, consider making one up. Be creative, create a simple tune and lyrics to teach what you are intending to teach, in order to help solidify these concepts with your students. Here is a collection of a few helpful resources to think about and explore while preparing to incorporate song into your classroom in a more meaningful way. If you click on the bolded and underlined portion of words, that will take you to the website. The first website here, Song Suggestion Resource, has children's songs from many different cultures on many different topics from all around the world. It has the lyrics and in many cases has an audio file of the song as well. This could be a very helpful resource in looking for songs to incorporate meaningful connections to other cultures or special events, and may help you to be exposed to some songs that you might not already be familiar with. The other two links here, Tips for Teachers and Music in the Elementary Classroom, contain some great suggestions for teachers looking to incorporate music and song more heavily into their classroom practice. They cover the benefits of singing with children, as well as tips and tricks of how to increase your own level of comfort with using song in the classroom, if that's not something you are already comfortable with. The Music in the Elementary Classroom resource also goes more specifically into the elements and concepts of music so that you can more confidently use terms such as pitch, scale, melody, and harmony. This is a great resource if you're looking to better familiarize yourself with the words and lingo around musical terminology. Here's a list of the citations that I used when creating this presentation and in doing research. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation on using song to promote literacy development in early childhood. From the research I have done, it is clear to me that using song to promote literacy in early childhood is a great tool for teachers to use and has an expansive array of benefits for children. It is definitely something I will continue to learn about and look forward to incorporating into my classroom in the future. Thank you so much.